Welcome to This Explainer. Today, we are absolutely shattering the illusion of safety when it comes to using generative AI at work. We all use these tools, right? I mean, they've become completely indispensable for drafting emails, debugging code, and summarizing those massive, impossible-to-read documents. But underneath that incredibly helpful interface, there is a hidden cost. And honestly, it's one that could put you and your entire company at serious risk.
Let's kick things off with a crucial mantra I want you to keep in the back of your mind throughout this entire analysis. Ready? If you aren't paying for an AI tool with money, you are paying for it with your data. And in a professional setting, that usually means you're paying with your company's highly sensitive proprietary information. We all love how fast and helpful AI is. It feels like this brilliant, perfectly private assistant sitting right there on your desktop. But let me ask you something. When you paste a huge paragraph of text into a prompt and hit enter, do you actually know exactly where that text goes? Because for most of us, the answer is a flat no. We just see the helpful response pop up and we move on.
See, the conversational nature of AI creates this really powerful illusion of a secure, closed-loop assistant. It feels like you're just talking to yourself in a private notebook. But the harsh reality? Every single prompt, every file you upload, and every little snippet of text you paste in is actively transmitting data to external, third-party servers. Your data has a destination.
Okay, let's dive into this with some real-world catastrophes. Because the most common data leak isn't some mastermind hacker breaking into a mainframe. It's just a well-meaning employee pasting the wrong thing into the wrong tool. Look at Samsung. Their engineers literally pasted proprietary source code into ChatGPT to debug it. Boom! Critical trade secrets exposed directly to a third-party server. We've seen lawyers completely breach attorney-client privilege just by uploading confidential documents to get a quick summary. We've seen healthcare workers accidentally violate HIPAA by typing in patient symptoms, and financial advisors exposing client portfolios, all just because they didn't realize who was really on the other end of the chat. To protect ourselves, we kind of have to completely redefine what we think of as sensitive data. As you can see right here, it spans across a massive data sensitivity spectrum. Now, we all know not to just hand over a social security number, sure. But what about early-stage business strategies? What about internal pricing margins or location data? Sensitive data is literally any information that could cause financial harm or a loss of competitive advantage if it accidentally falls into the wrong hands.
And this brings up the incredibly sneaky danger of what we call indirect identification. Let's say you redact a name and instead you just type a 34-year-old female engineer in the Montreal office. Well, if you have a small team, you haven't anonymized anything, you've just pinpointed an exact person. Seemingly innocent details, when you combine them together in a prompt, can instantly expose personal identities or highlight very specific, confidential internal company dynamics.
So before you share anything with an AI, I really want you to run it through this super simple mental model, the newspaper test. If the information you are about to paste magically appeared on the front page of a newspaper tomorrow, would it cause harm to anyone? Would it embarrass a coworker? Would it tip off a competitor? If the answer is yes, or honestly even just a maybe, it needs protection. All right, so this brings us to Section 1, the 4 leakage pathways. Let's take a look at exactly how your data escapes into the wild in the first place. Your data actually leaks through 4 very specific pathways. The first one is prompt leakage. That's the direct text, the PDFs you upload, or even screenshots. Second is training data ingestion. Third is third-party integrations. Think about those sneaky browser extensions that promise to magically enhance your AI, but are actually just reading everything on your screen. And finally, inference and reconstruction, which is where the AI literally just connects the dots based on your behavioral patterns and repeated questions. Let's really clarify the most misunderstood pathway of the bunch: training data ingestion. Many consumer AI tools explicitly state in their terms that they might use your inputs to improve their public models. This means a competitor who uses the exact same AI tool could literally receive generated suggestions based on the highly confidential, proprietary strategy you just typed in yesterday. The AI learns from you, and then, well, it shares that knowledge with the rest of the world. And if you're sitting there thinking, oh, that definitely isn't happening at my company, you might want to think again. What's absolutely shocking is that a recent Salesforce study found 68% of employees use unauthorized AI at work without ever disclosing it to their employers. This is creating a massive shadow AI crisis. People are bringing in unvetted, consumer-grade tools that completely bypass every single data protection measure the IT department spent months putting in place.
But listen, our goal with this explainer isn't to stop you from using AI. AI is amazing, it's a total game changer.
Instead, let's move right into Section 2, the solution, safe data habits, and how you can use the clean framework to actually protect yourself.
So I want to introduce you to this clean framework. Think of it as your ultimate daily shield. C is for check before you paste. Just quickly scan your text for names or those indirect identifiers we talked about. L is for limit what you upload, sanitize your files, and strip out that hidden metadata. E stands for enterprise tools only. A is assume it's permanent, treat every single query as if it's backed up on a server forever. And N is never, ever share credentials. Absolutely strip out raw passwords and API keys before you ask a chatbot for coding help.
That third step of the framework, sticking to enterprise tools, is absolutely vital to understand. Enterprise AI is paid for with actual money. It comes with ironclad contractual data protections, encryption, and hard guarantees that your data stays yours. It is never used for training. Consumer AI, on the other hand, is completely free to use, which means your data is the fee and your private inputs are literally treated as free training material for their next big software update.
When you adopt those clean habits and stick to approved tools, you maintain what we call the 3 pillars of data protection. First is privacy, meaning you control who is actually permitted to see the data. Next is security, actively protecting the data from unauthorized hacker access. And finally, sovereignty, which is a really big one, knowing exactly whose laws apply based on the physical geographic location of the servers your data is being beamed to.
To put all this into practice every single day, you can continually evaluate your tasks using this 2-dimensional risk matrix. Just look at the extremes here. Asking an AI to write a cheesy birthday poem for a coworker, super low likelihood of a leak, and very low severity if it somehow happens. Go for it. Have fun. But having an AI debug code with active network credentials or analyze a complex, unredacted client contract, that has a sky-high likelihood of leakage through those 4 pathways and catastrophically high severity if it gets out.
So as you can see, AI is totally transforming the way we work, making us vastly faster and more capable than ever before. But with that incredible power comes a really profound responsibility to protect the data we've been entrusted with. So I want to leave you with this final provocative thought to mull over. The next time you paste a huge block of text into an AI prompt and get ready to hit submit, who else are you really inviting to the conversation?